So, welcome everyone to Gauntlet Hangouts. This is our session of the Queen of Cups, which is a micro RPG that was done as part of the 3-person RPG jam that happened last year, where basically 3 different people were randomly assigned and they weren't told anything about what they would be working on and had to throw something together, and this is what came out of it, and I love it. I will be the facilitator this evening. My name is Sam Zimmerman. You can find me on Twitter at Typhos Games, TYPHOS, and I also make games. You can find those at typhosgames.com. And I say facilitator because there is no GM role for this game. It is completely GM-less. We will be rotating around who's in what scene and just kind of exploring the world as we go. I have already gone through our safety tools. We'll be using the X card, lines and veils, script change, and the open door policy. And our other players today are Stephen, Puckett, and Sarabelle. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Give your pronouns. I forgot to give my pronouns. I use he, him pronouns. And so in that order, Stephen, Puckett, Sarabelle.
Hey there, I'm Stephen, he, him. Don't bother trying to find me online. I am only here on the Gauntlet. Yeah, I am looking forward to serving some coffee.
Hi, I'm Puckett, he, him pronouns. I am a goofball who jumps into weird games and does weirder things with other games. And I cannot wait to do some supernaturally inspired latte art on somebody's mochaccino.
And I'm Sarabelle. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me online at Nilota. And I am so excited to go back into my old Barnes & Noble barista days.
Excellent. So, for those of you at home, the general pitch for this game is that each of us will have an employee, a barista, or a server at this supernatural coffee shop that is run by a mysterious figure called the Queen of Cups. Nobody really knows her real name, but that's who she is. And the Queen of Cups is a coffee shop that caters to the supernatural. So trolls, vampires, werewolves, pixies, all are able to come here, coexist peacefully because they've all agreed on a mutual ceasefire. If the troll starts fighting with the ogres over some minor dispute, then there's a ruckus and nobody gets their coffee and nobody wants that. So we will be exploring the small slice of life problems that happen inside this coffee shop. And the first thing that we're going to have to do is each come up with our employee. And so is everybody able to access the playingcards.io page that I sent out?
Yes.
Okay. So I will read the employees section. So for each employee, we will have a name. We can come up with those as at any point. It doesn't even have to be right now. We can wait until our first scene. We will draw 1 major Arcana tarot card and 1 minor Arcana tarot card for our characters.
I also wanted to check because is there somewhere we have, because the Arcana we draw looks like it matters, like each major Arcana is associated with a specific character. So is there somewhere like we can make note of that, just so
yes. So the way I have it set up in the playingcards.io, you will draw 1 and put it down by your character, and then I will go in and add another one into the deck.
Okay.
So that way we'll definitely have the right amount of cards. And so we'll draw the major arcana card, and you can interpret that however you want. This is your core belief, your core ideas. Define it however you want. You can use an online guide, your own knowledge, some of the imagery on the card, how it makes you feel. One thing that a lot of people do is they'll think of the image as a scene, think of what just happened, what is going to happen in the card, things like that. And then we will also draw one minor arcana card, and then the suit of the card determines what our employee is best at. Cups refers to the queen and all things dealing with employment at the cafe. It includes scheduling, payroll, hiring, policy, anything that relates to how the business works. Wands refers to espresso and coffee. So that is providing food and drink, responding to their immediate dietary needs. Pentacles are the floor of the cafe, the lighting, the music, the tables, the chairs, making people feel welcome, making the space feel cozy. And then swords are supplies and logistics. How much milk is there? When are the deliveries due? How many treats are set aside? How much different things do we have? And then the number on the card, the minor arcana, determines their life outside of work. If the number on the card is a 2 to a 6, pick a hobby, a skill, or a passion. If the number on the card is a 7 to 10, pick something that they know a lot about. And if you have a face card or an ace, pick an unusual experience that they had. And I can repeat any of that if people need it as we go through this. So for now, why don't we each draw one major arcana and one minor arcana?
Well, I'll just be drawing for Stephen with a PH, Sam with two M's.
Apologies. We're going to be changing those anyway.
I know.
Now with this, do we need to go one at a time, or can we all draw at the same time?
It doesn't really matter. If the way that playingcards.io seems to work is that if too many people are drawing at the same time, one person just won't get the card. And so you just reach in and grab another one. And also you can, if you click on the text at the top of your thing, it should let you edit them, and you can write any of that information you want. Oh boy. I got a good amount of royalty here, didn't I?
And Sam, I apologize, but I missed almost all the stuff about the cards because I was trying to figure out what was going on outside and realized it was a Black Lives Matter march in a
fun.
rather unpopulated part of my tiny little town. So yeah.
That is okay. So the major arcana card represents the core of your character. You can interpret it however you want. And the minor arcana card, depending on the suit and number of the card, gives you what your character is best at and what something about a prompt for some portion of your backstory. So you got the 2 of Wands. Wands refers to the espresso machine, making coffee, providing food and drink for your guests. And if the number on the card is a 2 through a 6, pick a hobby, a skill, or a passion for your character. Examples being singing, gardening, painting, training guide dogs, or tabletop RPGs.
I'm going to ask a semi-weird question. Do you mind if I use a character from another game in this?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
And so then the way that I'm running this is that I've been replacing the text at the top with whatever information I have. I probably should have said to just type done in the Zoom chat when you're ready to move on.
I'm done.
All right. Do we want to go around and just kind of give a quick blurb about your characters? Introduce them. I will go first. So I will be playing as Craig, who I'm kind of interpreting as the shift manager. As the Emperor, he is a war veteran who doesn't give a shit about anything, but he's really good at making coffee. And so they keep him around because he keeps everything in order and he's good at what he does, but he's he's a little bit abrasive just because he is at the point in his life where he says it like it is. He's that kind of person. So that we will see how that goes. Do we want to go in the same order with Stephen, Puckett, and then Cerebel?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. I'm playing Clark, who is 18, senior year of high school. He busses plates here. He may have been the lady may have risen from the local drainage canal and declared him the one true king. But you know, it seems like a poor political system where we decide our kings based on what people who live in drainage to say. So oh, and he's him.
All right. Puckett, do you want to introduce us to Allie? Allie? Is that? No, Doris. You're playing Doris. Sorry.
Hello, I'm Doris McAllister. I'm a little older, and my husband John, he passed away some years back, but I have 3 kids and 8 grandchildren and 1 great grandchild. But you know, they're all kind of busy, so I try to keep myself occupied. I bake a lot, and this sounded like the kind of place where they might need somebody who knows how to bake chocolate chip cookies properly. And the way to make chocolate chip cookies properly is to never put raisins in them. So I also make scones and I make little crumpets, and you know, I just try to make delicious treats for people to eat while they're having their coffee, because who doesn't like some baked goods with their coffee?
Awesome. Thank you. And Cerebel?
So Allie is 28. They use they them pronouns and are just finishing up a master's degree in theology, so they can actually start training as a real life cleric. Finally, they've been working at the Queen of Cups since they were a teen, and they're just really fucking tired, but they stick around because the tips are good, and the one thing they've actually mastered is latte art, so it's fun.
Oh my God, does everybody just like, it's like every time you try to make something else, it just comes out as like the face of the Virgin Mary.
Yes. No,
that happens to you too?
not omens. Once, not omens. No.
I can't tell you how many times I have seen the face of a holy figure come out in like the heated patterns on my baked goods.
That's amazing. So now that we are all introduced, we can start kind of poking around at scenes. So the way that scenes work.
I think we also are meant to define, like, introduce the certain traits about, looking at the description, we also describe the Queen of Cups.
Yes.
Each player
Okay.
should invent one fact about the Queen of Cups that is true, and each player should also invent one rumor which may or may not be true.
Thank you for reminding me of that. And I will write all that down in a new sheet on our lines and veils. So, who would like to go first in offering either a truth or a rumor about the Queen of Cups?
Is there any framework around the truths we need to be aware of?
Nope.
Nope, just, yeah.
Okay. A truth about this place is that...
No, the Queen of Cups, the actual owner, not the place.
Yeah, no, the person themselves.
Oh, okay. See, this is what I was asking.
Yeah.
Do we actually know the gender of the Queen of Cups?
It uses she, but that's about the only, for her pronouns, but that's the only thing that's that it's just there in the book. So
somehow, and this is the truth, somehow every Monday the bakery is freshly restocked with fruits that don't exist in our plane of existence and nuts that come from similar places. It's basically the baked goods section. The materials that I have to work with as Doris don't exist on our plane. I don't know where she gets them. I've had to learn how to work with them. There may have been a few kitchen incidents while I figured that out, because who knew that these little walnut-looking things could just spontaneously explode into clouds of glitter. I didn't know that. But it is well stocked with ingredients that are from elsewhere and may possibly be magical. And somehow she can get this stuff.
Another truth. The Queen of Cups doesn't actually care about the money in this place. The way that she figures the success of the cafe is through the contentment of the customers, which she has somehow managed to quantify.
I think the Queen of Cups is it's well known among even among the mundane community as well. I think that she is the guest of honor at practically any one of the guests of honor at practically any event among any of the factions of the city.
All right. And then I think my truth is going to be that it's not very common that people cause disturbances here, but when they do, they always somehow end up having a spontaneous garden show up in their living room and have to spend inordinate amounts of money getting rid of it. And so they somehow just are persuaded to stop causing trouble because they just keep getting these ridiculous amounts of plants interfering with everything they try and do during the day. And then do we want to go in the same order for rumors?
I've got one ready.
Sure. Fire away.
Rumor is she's an actual deity. Somewhere. I don't know where, but that is something that I have heard.
Yeah, and adding on to that, she may or may not be 3 witch sisters who have convinced the locals of another dimension that she is a deity.
Nobody really knows why the pact that keeps this place civil started, but some people say it was a bond tied with blood with another being. So it's a truce between the Queen of Cups and another. Who is that?
I feel like it's maybe debated. Like some say it's the King of Vampires or the Wizard Queen. But usually this is like a popular debate when magical folks start getting drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think my rumor is that she has been romantically involved with one or more of the other faction leaders, but nobody can confirm or deny anything. And it's always this kind of like, oh, I heard that she was with this person, or I heard that she was with this group, and they can never actually pin anything to anybody. Okay. Thank you for reminding me about that, Stephen. Does anybody have any other truths or rumors they want to throw out before we get started? No? All right. So,
One last rumor.
Okay.
She looks like she could be in her 30s or 40s. But rumor has it that she has lived for literally millennia and just moves whenever somebody starts kind of picking up on the idea that maybe she isn't aging.
I like that. So, for a scene, we will go around. I think we'll just keep the same order that we've been using for everything. Me, Stephen, Puckett, and then Sarabelle. And we will draw one major arcana and one minor arcana and put them over in the scene major, scene minor sections. For each scene, you'll draw one major arcana card, and this represents the customer. We will decide as a group who the customer is based on the impressions of the card, your thoughts on what it stands for, and so on. And then each of us will give one word to describe the customer and then decide together on a name.
Yeah. And when that card becomes their card specifically. And if it's redrawn, the scene will be about them again.
Mm-hmm. So I'll create that list. Again, in the Lines and Veils sheet, we'll just keep a list of name card descriptions. So, and then we will draw a minor arcana, And then each suit of minor arcana comes with either a cafe issue, which means that they have an issue with something in the cafe, or an outside issue. And it's up to us. We can choose either one of those. The number on the minor card should indicate how serious it is, not necessarily to the staff, but how impactful it is to the customer. Figuring out why it's a serious problem and how to help, or at least empathize with them, is the core of the scene. It is not necessary that someone role plays as the customer, but it is optimal if that was to happen. And that could be the person that drew the card. The person that drew the card could say, I really want to have my my employee in the scene. It is entirely up to us. If your major arcana card is drawn during the scene, that scene pertains specifically to you. You get to introduce something that is bothering your character, and while the rest of us have to try and deal with that. So that could be either a major or a minor arcana. So,
okay, to make sure, I'm going to repeat this back to make sure I heard what I thought I heard.
Mm-hmm.
You said if our major arcana card gets drawn during a scene, our employee is automatically in that scene?
The scene, yes. So
is our major arcana card going to go from the bottom of that playing card area back into the deck? Is it going to?
I added another card to the deck and then reshuffled them.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
That's the part that I wanted to double check.
Just to check, did you also add it to the minor card deck?
Yes.
Okay.
So the minor arcana now has a Queen of Wands, a 10 of Wands, a 2 of Wands, and a King of Pentacles.
Okay.
I also went in and re-added the Queen of Cups, which was taken out for us drawing cards at the beginning. When a character's minor card is drawn during a customer's problem, they want to deal specifically with that employee. Maybe they had a good encounter last time. Maybe it was a bad encounter and they want to complain. You can make up context, but the character whose minor card was pulled is the focus of that scene as much as the customer is. The only other unique situation is if we draw the Queen of Cups. And if we draw the Queen of Cups, there is a specific scene that plays out based on, it's basically break time, and the Queen herself comes down and we have kind of a debrief of how the day is going, how each of us are doing. And we'll go through that if we reach that point. So I guess I will draw cards first and we'll kind of get a feel for how this goes. So I will draw one of each and then flip them over. So I have drawn the Empress and the 3 of Wands. So the Empress describes the customer. We should decide as a group who that customer is based on the impressions of the card, your thoughts about what it stands for, and so on. Add a line in the spreadsheet for that character. So to me, the Empress is like the stereotypical, like, powerful woman figure card. And so to me, that screams like either sorceress, siren, powerful female figure, mythology type character. I didn't hear what you said.
High level fae.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
That's what I was saying, Queen Mab, Titania.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to just straight up say that Titania visits this coffee shop? Because that would be fun.
It fits the card.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. So Each player should add one word to describe the customer. So her name is, we've already decided her name is Titania. Her card is the Empress. I'm going to add aloof. And then, Stephen, do you have a word that you want to add to her?
I'm still deciding if somebody else has a strong ID, has a strong like immediate thing they want to add.
I don't know how to succinctly put this, but I think that she's very particular in her order.
Picky?
Yeah.
Yeah, particular is also, that's.
I do like particular. That's pretty good.
I think she can also be strangely kind. But it's one of those things like she has to be in the mood for it. And she has to kind of know the person, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think she's
So-
also, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, how do we boil that down to one word?
I mean, kind or strangely kind sounds fine.
We can bend the rules a little bit and have it be 2 words.
Okay.
I'm okay with this.
I'm just kind of thinking, I'm just thinking now, just kind of trying to playing into the modern setting. I feel like she's also kind of a celebrity of the magic world. So I think when she comes into our cafe, it's incognito.
Oh, yes.
Influencer.
She's on Instagram. She has to be on Instagram, right?
No. Are you
Oh,
kidding
yeah.
me? Why would Titania be on Instagram? Instagram is for people who try hard.
She's clearly on
She
Etsy
doesn't
instead.
have to.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I'm saying I think it's incognito. is
Like
the
big
word I'm giving her.
sunglasses, floppy
Yeah.
hat.
Yeah.
I love that.
The conspicuously inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
And
you know
then-
it's somebody, but who could it be? We can't see through the sunglasses or under the hat. I guess we'll never know.
And then she drew the 3 of Wands, which is a fairly low, it's like the second lowest in terms of actual like severity of the problem. And it's either their coffee or their snack or their hobbies is the issue.
Although I think it's their hobbies if it's a face card, right?
No, so you can use either the cafe
Oh,
item or
okay.
the outside item, your choice. So the
Never mind.
cafe item is their coffee or their snack, and the outside world item is their hobbies. So we can pick.
Right. Sorry.
I do like the scene of like she doesn't want to draw too much attention to herself, but she's very picky about the latte she just got, and it's not quite right.
Excuse me, but I did ask for a decaf latte with whole milk foam, and this is a decaf latte with decaf foam.
It's just this. Yes, I love that scene. So does anybody want to play as her?
I'm just opening it up. I'm
I love that.
I'm
Okay.
calling you over. Who is responding to this problem?
I feel like that would either be, honestly, that sounds like, if she's on the floor, that sounds like a Clark issue, but you're playing
Okay.
as her. So, but yeah, if you want to like walk up to the counter, And then
Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
yes, like you just come up to
I
the.
assume that. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that she's out at the counter.
Yeah, I like that scene. So I'll be behind the counter and just kind of this grumpy old man who's like busy grinding up some beans, and it's like, what? You're gonna have to talk louder. I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Smacks it a couple of times.
Could you just stop that for a moment? Thank you. So I was asking, I had asked for a decaf latte with whole milk foam, and this is a decaf latte with decaf foam.
And it
I
reaches out
smile.
and grab it. Fine. Yeah. What name should I put on this? And he like looks over the cup and there's no name on the cup.
Oh, if you could, Ali, you know who I am. If you could just, say, if you could just,
Fine. I'll have her deal with this. And he goes back to putting together this espresso machine in front of you, and just like kind of glances up at you as you're like standing there waiting for the coffee. It's like,
Don't just don't.
Is that directed at Craig or me?
At Craig.
Okay.
If you make it apparent she's gonna start a scene, and we don't need that right now. Okay?
fine. I mean, milk foam is decaf. I don't get it. Like, what is she asking for? You can't put caffeine in milk foam.
And I think that Allie is going to take the cup from you and take the foam off of the cup, refoam like some skim milk, and pour it over the same cup of coffee behind the counter so that she doesn't notice.
Okay, I was just going to remake the whole thing, but all right. If you want to do that, then go right ahead.
And then just like puts it out. You know,
I take a sip. Yeah, I take a sip and I go, I always know the cups you make, Allie. They do taste so much better. And I give you a little grin.
I think they blush just a little bit. You know, you can just come to me if you need something.
No, I know, but the joke is that this is exactly the same cup of coffee as before.
It's exactly the same coffee.
No, I just is something wrong with your coworker? I don't mean I didn't mean to make him to upset him or anything, and I kind of like look over at Craig and wave and kind of give him a kind of not really like a regular wave, but like the Queen wave.
No, I think he's all right. You're not mad or anything, right?
Oh no, I don't. I'm fine. I just want to make certain that he was doing well. He seemed a bit upset when I brought up the whole foam question with him.
I think that's just what his face looks like.
Oh yes.
Just
My ex-husband had the same problem.
PTSD. Nah.
That's great.
I think we're good on this.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to end that scene. So
Okay.
and then get those back, reshuffle them. And then Stephen, do you want to draw some cards?
Our major is the High Priestess, and our minor is the something of staffs of wands. I think it's the 9. I think 9.
That is a 9, yes. So that's pretty high up there. It's not quite the 10 of wands, but it's the 9 of wands. Who do we think the High Priestess is?
I have an idea. What if she's an instructor of hot yoga who is also heading up a temple of Aphrodite?
Sure.
She's like a literal high priestess of Aphrodite whose temple is like
A hot
to the
yoga
normal
studio.
world.
Hot yoga tent.
I love it. And so her wands, again, it can be a problem with their coffee or it can be a problem with their hobbies. I want to see what the issue with this hot yoga studio is.
Well, we also give them descriptors first.
Yes. I was going to do that in a different order, but thank you. So we don't have to give them a name yet, but do we have descriptors for this Aphrodite high priestess? We could go very stereotypical and have the first one be ditzy.
If you want to do that, I'm gonna go with fulsome.
Can you say that again?
Fulsome.
Fulsome.
Yeah, I just like the idea of just going with the more classical beauty standard as opposed to the modern one.
Okay.
Like fulsome is kind of curvaceous, but kind of
Not quite
old-fashioned.
Calipigian.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like, like has meat on her is probably how you'd say it in modern terms.
Rubenesque.
Yeah.
So instead of ditzy, could we maybe say quirky?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't think she'd be a high priestess and just kind of be a complete space cadet, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. I think that's good.
Or even rather than ditzy, also spacey could imply that she's just kind of has a tendency to get like
Wander.
Yeah, to wander without necessarily being stupid.
Yeah, like her head's on a higher plane dealing with more ethereal matters or something like that.
Okay.
I was actually going to build on that and say intuitive.
Okay.
I feel like she knows what's wrong with people before they do.
She's got this natural talent. I like that. Do we have a name for her?
Mercedes, maybe?
That's good. I like that. And so we have Mercedes. Do we want to go with the outside hobby, the hobbies as the issue? And does somebody want to play as Mercedes?
What are her hobbies? Or is that something we establish in the scene?
We could
Yeah.
we could completely establish it. We could say that it's an issue with the yoga studio, I guess, although I guess that would
Well,
be her
there's also the
job.
job, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what kind of hobbies a high priestess of Aphrodite would have, but we can establish those, or we can say that it is a level 9 issue with their coffee.
She has 5 She has 5 dogs, and one of them is missing.
Oh no.
Oh no.
See, I already got so much investment in that. See,
Yes.
clearly that's the thing.
That's got to be it. All right.
But is it the puppy that went missing?
Or is it the really old Chihuahua?
I think that's whoever wants to to play her can define what her 5 dogs are and which one is missing.
Does somebody have a burning desire to do that? I can do that if.
I think I can do this one.
Okay.
Once you found out there were dogs involved.
Oh yeah.
I used to raise dogs, so
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't know you raised dogs. I just know that I just know that it's important to you.
yeah. So just to kind of really, when you look through the window, you see that there are 4 dogs with leashes standing around outside, and the leashes are on the ground, and they're just kind of standing around panting. There's a Great Dane, there's a German Shepherd, there is what we used to call a rat terrier, and then there's just some indefinable mutt. You know, got kind of a notch taken out of near. Looks like it's been in a few fights, probably adopted from the street. But the elderly Chihuahua, Grimsley, the one that she usually carries in with her, isn't there, and it isn't in her arms as she comes in with a stack of photocopies. So which employee is going to be in this?
Sure. Hi there, Miss Mercedes. Do you want your usual?
I need help. Can you put some of these up for me? I can't find Grimsley. He went missing.
And which one's Grimsley?
It's the old Chihuahua, the little one, the one that has like the wrinkled up face and he sleeps a lot. I usually bring him in with me.
Oh no, he's so sweet.
I know, and I can't find him anywhere. I opened the door for a delivery, and the next thing I know, he just bolted out of the yoga studio and down the stairs, and I don't know why.
Oh no, I'll keep an eye on it, and I can help with this. And I'm carrying like a tray load of dirty dishes, like that I've just like been picking up from around the store. I like put them over on the counter, and I like quickly say, "Hey Craig, need to go help find a dog. Could you take care of this? Bye." And I grab up your flyers. Okay. I can help post some flyers around the neighborhood if you need it.
Yes, thank you so much, Clark. You're such a good kid. You're always trying to help people. I wish more people saw that in you.
Oh, it's nothing. I just do what anyone would do, and I think I'm getting like what kind of look am I getting from Craig in the back at this point?
This is the you're probably losing pay right now. Look, like, are you like actually leaving the store?
Dog is missing, Craig. look, I'm really sorry, but her dog's missing. Look, can you just cover me for a few minutes?
Fine. Just you've got 10 minutes.
Okay. 10 minutes.
Clark, I'll tell you what, and this may be a silly idea. Why don't you take half the dogs and see if they can smell Grimsley, and I'll take the other two. I've been trying to like walk around the neighborhood with them, seeing if they can sniff him out, and it's hard to walk 4 dogs at the same time. So and it's like they keep pulling in different directions. Maybe that'd help us. I don't know what to do with lost dogs. I've never lost a dog before.
Okay, I can do that. And I don't know if like how much we want to play like completely resolving this problem since we're like leaving the store, but like because I don't know like what the rules are for if we're supposed to keep things set on like the store specific. But I think I'm fine like kind of maybe treating this as like a montage of like the two of us like running around the neighborhood with each 2 dogs each on a leash. Like Clark drawing the sword of Excalibur out of its sheath to light up a dark alleyway every now and then because he doesn't have a flashlight.
And I think Mercedes, she's probably about, I'm guessing like just a hair under 5 feet. And she's running around with this giant Great Dane that looks like it is bigger than she is, just for pure comic effect. And then the German Shepherd's sniffing all over the place, and she's just like kind of wandering around. And sometimes she's holding the dog's leashes, and sometimes she isn't, but they're always staying kind of close, so you can tell that they've actually been trained.
Oh my God! And then I totally love the idea. Craig, back at the coffee shop, a small Chihuahua shows up. What does Craig do?
Like just kind of barks at the front
Just
door.
wanders in.
Craig is gonna like, he's washing the dishes and he hears like the scrabbling at the glass door, looks up, looks at the flyer, looks up, slams the flyer down on the table, pulls up the bar stool, kind of stomps around the side, goes over, opens the door, and he's got one of those little tiny puppuccino things that are just whipped cream, and like uses it to lure the Chihuahua in and scoops it up, sticks it in a high chair so it can't go anywhere.
Grimsley yips happily.
It's got its little feet in the leg holes.
And it got whipped cream too far up in its nose to actually be able to lick off.
Yes. And then do we want to have just to wrap everything up, do we want to have the scene of the two of you coming back?
I think we're probably both at least a little dejected.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for trying to help, Clark. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's no problem. I wish I could have been more help.
You did what you could. I mean, that's more than a lot of people do.
Thanks.
I don't even feel like getting my usual, because it's like I feel sick with worry. And I think by this point we're probably opening the door to the coffee shop. Does that seem reasonable, Stephen?
Yeah.
You guys have a little bit of a visitor over there.
I look up and see Grimsley yipping in the high chair. Grimsley! And I just rush over, pick him up and hug him. And like the dog's, if it were a cartoon, the dog's eyeballs would be like bulging out because of how hard he's getting squeezed and hugged. Don't
That's
you
great.
dare run away from me again, you silly little boy. You worried mommy sick.
And Mercedes feels a tap on her shoulder, and Craig is holding out a cup. Figured you want this.
You can see her kind of melt a little bit, just like, aren't you sweet? She takes it and says, you should come by the studio at some point, Craig. Some yoga might help you.
Oh God, I can't even bend over anymore. You think I can do your ridiculous stretches? No, I'd break something.
Everyone starts somewhere, Craig. It's not about being able to do this. And she does the split standing on one leg and just pulls her foot behind her head. I couldn't do this when I started.
I will consider your offer.
Maybe you should come.
And he's like, you can tell he's not actually considering it at all.
And Stephen, what were you saying?
I just like the idea of it during that entire exchange. Mercedes is just going, wink, wink. Maybe you should come over. And Craig is just not getting it.
Come to the temple of Aphrodite. Wink, wink, wink.
Here, let me do vertical splits standing up. Wink, wink.
Craig is I have at this point for everybody decided that Craig is actually just a dwarf and he is dumb as a box of rocks in terms of reading people.
Yes.
That explains the grumpiness about the decaf foam.
Yep. So he is short, grumpy. He's probably shorter than Mercedes is, like 4.5 foot. And just doesn't read the situation at all.
So just so we're clear on this, does that mean that there's a footstool at the register and at the espresso machine?
It's like a little step ladder for Craig to walk up.
That just gets dragged around.
Yes. I love it.
I feel like that scene.
Yeah.
That was a great scene. And it has been an hour 15, so I'm going to suggest that we take a quick 10-minute break.
Yeah.
5-10 minute break. So we will be back at 25 after. Does that work for everybody?
Cool.
Sure.
Yep.
Cool.
See you all of you.
See you in a bit. All right. So it sounds like everybody's back. Moving on to our third scene. I think it's Puckett's turn to draw some cards. Let me put these ones back first. Shuffle those. There you go. You should be good.
Yeah, my kid is a simp sometimes. God, the fandoms she's gone through. Don't even get me started on my immortal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so major
That's a talk for later.
That can be a talk for never. I'm okay with it being a talk for never. All right, so there is the major and the minor arcana. Scene major is. Do we want to do the Empress again?
I mean, it'd be interesting if Titania just comes back, but if we want to see somebody else, then I'm perfectly okay with that.
How do we all feel about it?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of like it. That I think is like one of the recommendations of the book is to just lean into regularity and when I'm fine having her come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And scene minor is, what is that? 6 of swords, 7 of swords?
That is the 8 of swords.
All I can see is a V and some I and what looked like an I or two. So
Yeah.
If when in doubt, you can actually just count the swords. Although that also takes a while.
it's really small and my eyes are old.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we've already established who Titania is, so we don't need to go through all that again. And swords is they can't get what they want at the cafe, or outside is money/resource problems. And this is a fairly severe problem. Actually, 8 is middle of the road in a tarot deck.
Do we want to go back to the well with the decaf foam?
She can't get what she wants. Oh, she's
Nobody
gonna.
gets it.
Is this the confront alley of like, hey, I know I said that your thing was good last time, but it's really not what I want.
No. Or is there something that she likes in the cafe that we don't have supplies for?
It could
Like
be a
something
baking
that Doris-
issue.
Yeah,
I do want to see Doris in a scene. We haven't seen Doris in a scene yet.
I'm good with that if you want to go with the baking thing. Like she wants some sort of baked confection that is available in Fairy, but difficult to find here. And with our kitchen stocks, we should be able to make it. And yet it's something that we don't necessarily get a lot of demand for. So it's not a regular item. Does that seem like a good starting point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's playing Titania?
I have an idea of
Okay.
what she wants. I think that like how is like, do you think that Doris ever is like in the front room, or do you think she's like coming like how do we usually see Doris in the cafe?
She's always bustling back and forth between the kitchen and the case, and always putting new pastries in. And if it's busy, she will happily run the register or pull shots. You know, you have to know how to pull shots to be able to work there. You know, and you have to be able to do at least a decent job. So, you know, she can do simple latte art and that sort of thing, but mostly it's baking. Well, after John died, it's her one true love.
Oh yeah, and I think that she kind of like is sort of like kind of trying to be low-key gesturing at you, Doris, as you like are bustling around. Like she's not raising her hand, actually. She's just like looking at you and giving you like a nod like this.
And I am bustling around, humming a little tune.
She's just kind of giving these larger and more like protracted nods.
Oh, and I look up, kind of start like, oh, Miss T, how are you today?
Oh, yes. I'm doing well, actually, but I had a little special request, Doris, and I
do
know
tell.
it's something that I could really only turn to you for. You have such a knack for cooking and baking.
Those raspberry madeleines, you really liked those, didn't you?
Yes, they were delightful. But I'm wondering if you've ever tried baking with something more floral. I'm thinking of a particular flower. It's called Love in Idleness.
Well, I have on occasion been Miss T. I have known some young people, and on occasion they have tricked me into baking with some things that I shouldn't have baked with. But I am more than happy to bake with flowers. But you said it's Love and Idleness?
Oh yes, it can be very difficult to come by, and the only supplier I know, unfortunately, has a bit of a contract with my husband. ex-husband, I should say.
I see. Well, the queen is very good at making sure that we get more interesting baking supplies here. Let me see if I have some in the kitchen. For all I know, I might. Can you tell me what it looks like?
Yes, it has, if I recall, petals of purple and numbered in, yes, it has petals of purple with a white crown at the center.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm trying to describe the actual flower now, and I'm trying to picture it in my head. But yeah, I think that she kind of gives you a more accurate description of the flower than I can give in my head.
Do we want to add
Okay.
something that's like
Yeah, and out of
not-
character, I should add, love and idleness is the flower that Oberon uses to concoct a love potion.
Oh, so do we want to
Is
give
out
it
of character knowledge.
like a magical scent, like it smells not like a flower should at all?
Yes, it
And does
smells.
it vary
It
from person
smells.
to person? Because I have an idea for how to work that in.
It smells of love forgotten.
I was going to say it smells of longing.
Just
Oh,
wait.
I try not to use such coarse language, but yes.
Just wait right here, Miss T. I'll go check. And you hear a lot of clattering and banging about in the kitchen, which sounds entirely uncharacteristic because Doris is usually very precise about her baking areas. So this much clattering is unusual. And she finally emerges from the kitchen. And it appears as though a bag of flour has fallen onto her head. Not in a harmful way, but she's got flour all over her face. And she holds up a small little spice container and says, Miss T, I'm sorry. All we have is dried love and idleness. Is that good enough? I can check with the queen and see if she could order some in.
Oh, I was hoping to have something prepared for someone very special to me. I'm afraid that I don't know if a substitute would do, but if you think I know that you can craft wonders, Miss McAllister.
What exactly would you want me to bake, Miss T? Because depending on what it is, I may be able to think of a few things that we have back there that I don't like baking with dried ingredients. I mean, dried apricots, I can make do with something like that from time to time, but with things that are more specialized, I prefer to cook really fresh with it. But maybe there are some things back there that I can add into, well, make it a little bit more like what you're thinking of.
I require, if you have, if you could think of any recipes that one might that might help one make one's feelings for another known, one's romantic feelings, I would be quite grateful.
And I look at you, and it's this just really warm, kind, gentle smile. I say, Miss T, I don't think I've ever seen you in a state like this. Are you all right? Would you like to talk? I'll be back in the kitchen anyway, baking. We can bring a stool back there for you.
Oh, thank you. I've known this person for quite a long time, and I don't know if their feelings are the same, but I'm just it's been a long time since I've really considered a relationship since my divorce. It was a rather messy affair if you paid attention to any of the gossip rags.
I know the feeling of not considering moving on. I actually found this ingredient because, well, it smelled faintly of my, well, you know I'm a widow, and it smelled just a little bit of my husband. So it made me think of the things that he really, really liked. And if you're okay with this idea, I'd like to bake you his favorite cookie, and I can work this in. Do you think you'd like that?
Thank you, Miss McAllister. That sounds lovely.
You just, if you want to come back in the kitchen with me, it's okay. I'm sure Craig won't say anything, and if he does, I'll give him a talking to. Everybody knows by now that you don't mess with a grandmother on a mission.
Of course, thank you. I'd be delighted.
And so, the typical clattering of mixing bowls and grinding of mixers and whisking. And she just chatters away happily about her cats and how her great-grandchild is doing, and her grandchildren, how proud she is of them, and how well her children are doing. And from time to time, she asks you about details about this potential new beau. And finally...
Oh, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, please do.
No, that's okay. I'll save it.
And it takes about 45 minutes, 50 minutes. And the next thing you know, she turns around to you with a plate of cookies. Double-sided, there's raspberry filling on the inside with a heart stamped out at the top, dusted with powdered sugar. And as you look at the powdered sugar, you realize that she ground up the love and idleness and mixed it in with it. There's a little bit of lemon zest in here too, along with the raspberry jam. What do you think, Miss T?
It's wonderful, Miss McAllister. You exceed my expectations as always.
You'll have to let me know how it goes.
Thank you. I hope to. And I think that I want to cut the scene there, but I think that I will state that Allie, there's a ringing at your apartment door, and you find a plate of cookies that says "From Tea."
All right, new OTP.
Of course. We ship Fae Queen and tired grad student.
That's great. All right, let's move on to the next scene. Sarabelle, do you want to draw some cards? Let me shuffle these.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be good there.
All right. All right, so it's the Devil and the Eight of Cups. I think that's what that is.
Yep. The Eight of Cups. So Who do we think the devil represents?
Allie's ex-boyfriend? Tossing it out there. Don't have to pick it up.
I'm cool with that idea, but of course it is Allie. Allie, if that is the case, it's saying Allie should probably agree with or reject.
I think that makes sense.
How rough do we want to go with this? Because the devil card is always this, like, it's very imprisonment and entrapment focused, which is a bit rough.
I think I'm listening. It's less like actual imprisonment and more like the fact that he keeps showing up at this cafe because he knows Allie works here.
Oh, he's that boyfriend.
Yeah.
Kind of maybe trying to drag Allie back into a relationship that just wasn't working for either one of them, but for whatever reason. Go ahead.
He's that guy that's like, no, we can make it work. It's like, no.
I think he also is like an actual demon, but he's like really low ranking. Like
he doesn't.
He's like the petty demon of causing people to like park in the handicap spot. Like he's just a really annoying asshole.
Oh, the demon that moves furniture in the way of your foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Losing your keys right before you leave the house.
The demon. I do really like the demon of misplaced items.
Okay, yeah.
And like the hijinks that could have in the scene too.
Yeah. So of course we'll just throw out petty as my descriptor for him.
Yeah. Okay. What other descriptors could we use?
The X who won't go away, but I can't think of a word for that.
Obsessed and determined both come to mind.
Obsessed sounds a little too malevolent.
Yeah.
And determined doesn't sound
enough.
Selfish.
Well, again, insistent.
Inconsiderate.
I like that.
Man boy.
Man boy.
He would stay up. I get the feeling that he's the kind of ex who during the relationship would stay up until like 2 or 3 in the morning playing Call of Duty with his
and say that's friends. Bonding.
Yeah, while you sat there and like flipped through a magazine and were just like, can we like talk, or can we cuddle, or can we watch a movie or something that doesn't involve you trying to headshot 13-year-olds?
Of course he's the one like, oh, you killed me. I lay a curse upon you to lose your homework.
Oh my God, that is so good.
And then we need one more. Do we want to have at least one positive thing?
Maybe he was like really loyal, but just like shitty in pretty much every other way. But not like
Genic.
Tidy.
Which is very backwards
ironic.
For it's very ironic for oh no, he has to be.
Yeah,
otherwise he would just lose all of his own stuff.
You'll never maintain a
like he's constantly trying to keep everything neat and tidy, but he keeps losing things anyway and gets frustrated about it.
It's just in his nature, man.
Yeah. I guess Sarabelle, if you want to name him, since you have the most connection to him.
Now I'm thinking like shitty guys I've been on voice chat with in games, and like the name David keeps coming up. Like, what do you
I
want?
am
David?
That is, we're declaring this as a fact now. All Davids, David Walker, just letting you know.
No.
I am the archdemon David.
But do you think he pronounces it something like David to make it sound like more impressive or
Yeah.
pretentious?
Yep. He's got like an accent on it in a weird spot that doesn't make any sense.
David?
David. I love that.
That sounds like divide, which is, you know.
Yeah, you have
I
to
shall
say,
divide you
and
puny
conquer
mortals
these
from your
motherfuckers.
possessions. You
That's
shall
exactly
never
how I
be
approach
accused.
things in Call of Duty, bro.
Oh, I hate this person.
As you should. The worst 9 months of my life.
It's okay. I'm sure Miss T is going to address this.
We all
So-
make mistakes.
It seems like Allie's probably in this scene.
Oh yeah, but what's their problem?
Oh, yes.
8 of Cups. So it's either about the staff or the queen or their job.
Oh yeah, I wonder which member of the staff they
They have
I feel like Craig's got to be in this. I mean, you are the shift manager.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Steven, do you want to play David or do you want me to do it?
If you want to, you can, but I can also step up if you do not want to embody David.
I don't know. I love Puckett's voice there.
What, the growling?
All right, what the hell? I can drink some lemon tea.
Okay.
later.
Those are both so good. Yeah, I think you come in and Craig is manning the register at that point.
Craig, a good day to you.
How's it going, David?
You know
He
full
starts
well my name is
typing.
pronounced Divide. David.
Yes.
There's a
David,
problem.
what can I get you?
There is a problem with my drink.
Oh. Are you going to explain it or are you just going to stand there and stare at me?
Foolish mortal, you should know. But I was given an empty cup.
And he hands the cup over to you, and there's not a spot of coffee that has ever been in this cup. I'm willing to bet that it's probably not even one of your cups.
It's from the 7-Eleven down the street.
He's basically showing up to be a dick.
You know that I haven't rung you up yet.
I obtained this beverage earlier. You were not here.
Okay. And it's taken you 4 hours to realize that the cup is empty.
I was busy doing demonic things like tormenting mortals.
Fine. He slams the cup on the side. Do you want another one?
I think that you should address this with the employee who made this
Who would
aberration.
that be?
That would be, oh, what is her name? Their name is escaping my
Allie.
mind.
Allie, come over here.
That sounds familiar, yes. Oh, Allie.
Just-
I didn't realize
Just
it
from
was
behind
you.
the espresso machine. What do you want, David?
I'm just imagining him tipping his fedora at this moment.
I didn't realize it was you. I thought it was another alley.
I am the only alley that's worked here for the last 6 years, and you know that.
When one is as busy with demonic things as I am, then things slip one's mind. I was served an empty coffee beverage cup this morning. This is not up to the standards of service of this establishment.
Maybe you should actually order a drink if you were expecting coffee.
I did order a drink. How else would I have this cup?
And he reaches out and grabs the cup and shows it to you, and it's obvious it is not one of the shop's cups.
If you want your coffee fixed from 7-Eleven, you should go to the 7-Eleven.
What is this 7-Eleven you speak of? I obtained this beverage here at the Queen of Cups.
And he quickly scrawls his little demonic hooked nail across the cup. And in this scratchy, busted ass writing, he kind of burns into the side of it a misspelled, it's like QUENOVKUPZ.
Do you see? Clearly it is what is from your establishment.
And Allie just looks over at Clark. Or at Craig. I'm not giving him a free drink.
Oh, no, I wasn't planning on giving him a free drink.
Is this the way you treat all customers?
No, this is this is how I treat annoying customers.
You technically have to pay to be a customer.
After
There's
everything
just
we
like
were to
a
each other,
pixie behind him, like going, excuse me, I have an order.
silence, all of you. I will not be treated in such a way. I will curse you all. And Allie, after everything that we went through together, this is how you commemorate the love we shared.
I think before you can finish that sentence, Craig is on the other side of the bar already. Like, you don't know how he got there, but he's just grabbed you by the front of the shirt and pulled you down. And so you are about 3 inches face to face. You do not come in here to mess with my staff. I gave you a shot to order something, and you didn't. Are you going to order something and leave, or am I going to have to throw you out?
I would like a coffee, please. Room for cream.
Fine. Let's go. Rubs his hands. Goes back, and it takes him a good, 15 seconds to get back. Climbs up on his little step stool. Goes behind the register, hits a couple of buttons, and hands a little slip of paper over to Allie for the drink.
I can put the cream in myself. And I think they set up this very nice looking little latte. And it definitely has a very intricately designed portrait of the tower in the cup. Just hands it over.
And you see what looks like a little bit of molten lava stream out of the corner of David's eye, and it bursts into this tiny little flame, and it actually looks something like crying. And he takes the coffee and leaves.
And I think at this point, that pixie that was getting wanted to place their order is just about to give a tip, and they're like, "Huh, I thought I had an extra dollar bill in here. Oh well, could you break this 10?"
Starts going through. That's great.
I gotta say, I was also expecting a middle finger, maybe like "fuck you" in cursive, something along those lines. The tower, though, that was an inspired choice.
Can't stop pouring portents. Sorry.
Was that on purpose?
Not sure. I think it happened and then they just didn't stop it.
That's amazing.
Is it a prophecy? Not sure.
That
All
may
right.
be the best detail that is going to come out of this game. Just Allie pouring portentous tarot cards into latte art. That's just so good. I am dead. You have killed me.
Oh no, we've got more scenes to do.
Yeah.
Do them yourself. I'm dead.
Okay.
No.
All right. I'll draw some cards. So now we have the star. Wonder who that could be. So we've got, like, the star is all about like positive future. So how do we want to play that?
A hyperactive, energetic pixie who's in high school.
We could do that. I like that. The other thing I was going to offer up is like the stereotypical like Cyclops, like future seeing Cyclops.
Oh. Who does charity work?
Those are both good.
Go with the Cyclops, who does charity work.
Yeah. Okay. Like this
They wanna
old,
help the community.
like this older gentleman Cyclops who's
Jimmy Cyclops. Nah, that's a little too on the nose. I was
We have
thinking
not-
building habitats for, esoteric creatures.
all right. So I've heard descriptors, kindly, I guess would be the, or charitable.
Gentle.
But clumsy.
I feel like a fun one would be Chatterbox.
I want to change gentle.
Okay.
Daddy.
Oh, he makes dad jokes.
Yes.
There's several different ways to take that one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, I was assuming the other way, but then like they made but then yeah.
Could be both, man. Could be both.
I mean, why not?
Look, I'm gay. I only use it the other way.
Maybe he tells dad jokes about leather conventions or something.
And he's got the daddy like physical persona and then just comes out with the puns.
Salt and pepper hair, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Swords. They can't get what they want or money resource problems, and it's a queen, which is a pretty high card. So what is the Cyclops' issue?
Lack of resources for their charitable work.
Yeah, like they just had a fundraiser or something and it was a complete bust. Like they are out of funds.
Oh,
I think keeping the remember that we're keeping the stakes kind of low. So like I feel like saying that they're gonna have to shut down the charity might be a little bit
much.
yeah.
But maybe it's stopping them from doing a project
Yeah.
they really
Yeah,
wanted
it's
to.
like
that
there's a
meant
big
lot.
project.
Yeah.
That, I like that.
Maybe they're coming over to ask if we would sponsor them for an event.
Yeah, like that's the idea of the resolution here. I have not played a customer yet, but I'm not 100% sure how I would play this one because I don't have a great picture in my head for this character, unfortunately.
Yeah, he lumbers in. Well, hey there, Craig. You mind mocha me a cup of coffee?
Thank you.
I'd like it
I'm gonna-
sooner rather than latte.
You did this, Puckett.
Hands the sheet across the counter.
There's just high pitched laughing from Allie behind the counter.
So how's business doing, Craig? Got much
I mean, business is doing all right. I mean, you look. He points around. Most of the tables are full at this point. People need their coffee no matter what's going on outside.
Yeah, it looks like you got a full plate around here. Me, I like a plate full of bear claws myself.
Do you want some bear claws?
Oh no. Well, no. The husband says I have to cut back on the cholesterol. Well, he's not here, so if you could make like just 2 bear claws. Well, 3 bear claws. But that's it.
Will do. And he types up in front, gives them to you in this very like discreet brown paper bag.
Thanks for the keeping things on the down low, as it were.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Well, yeah. I hate to ask these things, but do you know if the boss lady is looking to make any looking to I'm suddenly forgetting the word, to underwrite any charitable activities right now? What was the charity we decided that he did?
I think it was like the fantasy version of Habitat for Humanity. Like building houses for people.
Yeah, any for some do you know if the recent Habitations for Hobbits project we're working on, it's hitting a little bit of a dead end. There's kind of a lack of funding, and because you can only build in hills. Hobbits for some reason won't live anywhere else.
I understand them a little bit, but we figured it out. They can figure it out too, but I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I can ask her. Are you you're just looking for land, or are you looking for For funding? What do you?
Well, look, we're looking for funding, but we're also there's the old Nine Hills neighborhood where all the hobbits live these days. They're looking to just convert that into, they're looking just to gentrify that and convert it into another elven high rise.
You know, if you're looking for people to just kind of fix the place up, make it, clean it up, make it presentable, show those elves that they don't need to come in. They can't just like call it a slum and take it over. Then he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a card and hands it to you. I've got some brothers who are mighty handy at stonework and carpentry, so I'm sure I
Technically,
can
5 brothers, one came out as a sister last year.
You read my mind. So if you need any help, let us know, and I'll definitely bring it up with the boss. Always happy to help.
I'm glad to hear that, Craig. You'll have to bear with me on this little project, he says, holding up the bag of bear claws. But I'll give me a call, and well, I'll give you all a call and see what we can work out.
Will do. And he hands over your mocha.
Oh, I know it worked on as a pun, but I actually just wanted a coffee.
Allie's
And I think that's where we cut
Craig.
the scene.
It's like, does that mean I can keep this one?
That was great. I love Jimmy. All right. Let's get rid of these.
Just as a side note, if I ever suggest daddy for anything again, please stop me.
No. You made this choice. You have to live with it.
Jimmy is just perfection.
Yeah.
I just hope Craig doesn't have to work latte.
Doesn't
I mean-
everyone here work a latte?
Yeah, but I think Craig might be milking it.
You got to make sure he's not super ground down by it all.
Well, I thought he stayed here because of all the baked goods. I thought, I thought he was putting a little bit more than just tobacco in that pipe that he steps outside to smoke.
Okay, we're done.
Are we? Are you really though? We could just keep coming up with bakery and coffee related puns to torment Sam.
This is the entire rest of the hour, folks.
Sorry, guys.
I love it. It is again 15 after the hour. Do we want to take a break here, or do we want to keep going through to the end, which I'm expecting to be probably half an hour, 45 minutes from now?
I could
Maybe
keep
be
going.
good with just a short break, like maybe just like 3 to 5 minutes, really.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's come back at 15 after then.
All right, thank you. Hello. I feel the need to tell you that my boyfriend has informed me we slept on the pun Habitat for Humanity.
What was
And
that?
I
We what on the pun?
We slept on the pun Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're not building habitats for humanity. We're building habitats for hobbits. That would be absurd. The other phrasing would be absurd, frankly.
Right, because why would a human want to live in a habitat?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also, did we sleep on it, or was that just second or third nap?
Yeah. All right.
Are you recovered, Sam? Are you okay?
I think so.
Okay,
I think that
Did you have some water?
I did. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
You checked in with yourself, made sure you're okay, because I know you kind of got bludgeoned with some really awful jokes and puns there.
Yeah.
I am checking in, is all.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. I believe it is Steven's turn to draw some cards.
Okay. We get the Hanged Man. And
It is a 6 of Wands.
yeah, but I'm just trying to figure out the Hanged Man first.
Yeah.
Well, the Hanged Man does represent the body politic, so maybe it is a local protest organizer, like a local pixie protest organizer.
I can see pixies having a lot of fun at protests.
Oh yeah.
So I like that. So what kind of descriptors do we want to give this pixie? I like passionate.
Yeah. Passionate.
Flighty.
More puns. Thank you.
I merely meant to indicate that the pixie might have a new cause every other week or so.
And they get into it. They are the most devoted person to that cause until the next one comes.
Yep. I mean, after all, it's a protest, but a parade with a purpose.
Yeah.
Self-conscious.
Yeah. I want to say tech savvy. Like really plugged into like where people are organizing.
I like it.
Do they have their own, I'm so sorry, Pixcord server?
See, I'm not technologically savvy for that pun to phase me at all, Puckett.
No,
not at
but
all.
It wounded Sam's soul.
It did. It did. It really did. What should we name?
Just thunked into me like
them?
jelly and just didn't even hurt.
Just didn't go anywhere.
I think their name is Riley. It's a they, them.
Mm-hmm.
And they just, I think they are at the point where they, based on their personality, I don't think they actually, it's more of just an ambivalence thing, if anything, than truly a disdain for either gender. It's just
they're that person that is like any pronouns, all pronouns.
Any pronouns, all pronouns. I don't really care.
Yeah.
As long as you give me money to support my cause for dog geriatric care.
And then it's a relatively low-key issue surrounding
Mhm.
either their coffee or snack or their hobbies. God, I mean, we went with tech savvy, so I just like the idea that they've been review bombed on Etsy.
Oh,
Oh no.
Okay. I like this. Review bombed for what and by whom?
Oh,
And was it related to their protest activities?
they definitely make like little macrame something or other or buttons for their different causes. And like no product is ever in the Etsy store for too long.
yeah.
It just gets replaced with something else.
Okay. Buttons or enamel pins?
Enamel pens take a lot of money. Like they definitely have just like a button setup in their like dorm room or something.
Okay. So they've got the button maker, like the 1
Yeah.
inch button maker. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mhm. But who would be review bombing them?
Do pixies have any kind of
I want to say it's someone using the totally subtle name of David 666.
It's divide.
Oh jeez. He's such an asshole.
I'm sure like every moment Allie is just like even more astounded that it lasted 9 months, even 9 months with this person.
I feel like this
It
is an
was-
alley scene, at least in part.
This was just momentum at this point.
Yeah.
Like it was just easier not to.
The inertia of relationships is a real thing.
The inertia of relationships is very real. So yes, Allie
Yeah.
would definitely.
I think I'm
And-
probably there too.
I can play Riley.
Sure.
So yeah, Riley is this like 1.5 foot blue, like bright blue pixie. That is this just constantly energetic, bouncing off the walls type character. And they come into the shop and are just like kind of scooching around an ogre who's on his way out, just like zip, 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 zip back over to the counter. And is very indecisive about what's going to happen. And he's there just, well, do I want this? How do I, oh gosh, there's so many choices. Why do you have so many choices?
I gotta ask, is Riley hovering?
Or
Yeah,
just
they wouldn't be
standing
able to. They
Okay.
Oh, I love the standing on the counter. That's really good.
I feel like they're pacing along the counter.
Can I get a double espresso in a very small cup? Just
Okay. That's a lot of caffeine.
yeah, I'm feeling a bit tired right now. I kind of need it.
Long night as they go and start setting up the espresso.
Yeah, I was working pretty late, but I it's weird. I wasn't working that much later than usual. I was only up until about 6 or 7 in the morning. Usually I'm up until like 8, and then I fall asleep for about an hour and a half, and usually that's enough. But like I even got like 2 hours of sleep, and I'm just feeling it, you know? I don't know what's going on.
when stuff is on your mind,
Yeah,
it
I
tends to
guess.
make you tired. And you look distracted, like more distracted than normal.
Oh,
So you either got like a new protest you're getting ready for, or something's wrong.
it was that obvious?
A little
Oh.
bit.
Okay.
It's definitely, a cup made of like a candied flower blossom.
And they take it and they're just like sipping it.
At the counter.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you do really good work here, and I'm sure that people don't come up to you and just start yelling about how bad all of your stuff is, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'm sure there's no one named David who ever complains about them.
I've got like, how bad does a button have to be that you have to that people think it's a good idea to just start yelling about all of it, and it's
people
it's
yell
just a
at
button.
us for a lot of stuff, but never the buttons. Someone yelled at you over your buttons?
Yeah, somebody said that they're poor quality. The craftsmanship is terrible. It looks like it was made by a third grader. Just it's like, geez, it's just a button. I just wanted to let people say what they want on their chest. How hard is that? I mean,
All right.
I'm yeah.
No.
You don't have to deal with me. Got your
No.
own problems.
Well, everyone's got problems. You know that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's fair for someone to yell at you because they don't like the thing that you made. Because they can just go and buy someone else's buttons. And I think that you should go and tell them to shove it. If someone
That's a good
wants
idea.
if someone wants to talk back to you, you're strong enough to take them.
Yeah. I could take him.
Don't actually fight anyone, but
No, I'm gonna beat him up. I can do it. I like this. Now I just have to find this David 666 person.
Oh shit. Okay.
Wait. Do you know, does that, what is oh shit?
Maybe you don't want to beat him up.
Do you know this person?
Like, directly like into their nose.
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
No, they're just like leaning in like nose to nose, and it's I would feel bad if I lied to you. We had a thing a while ago. He's not a good person.
Oh, good. Even more reason for me to beat him up. They hurt you. Screw them.
Do you want me to handle this? Because I can beat him up and I don't feel bad about it.
Do you want to beat him up together? I think that would be very therapeutic for the both of us.
When I'm off the clock.
Okay, I've got some buttons to make.
So we're meeting back here at 7, right?
Uh-huh. Definitely.
And Ellie just looks over at Clark. He's like, you saw nothing?
I actually think I want to say that like immediately after Riley leaves, Clark nonchalantly tries to walk in wearing 5 of Riley's buttons on his shirt and just goes, "Oh, Riley, I didn't know you were here." And then tries to like stand like a regular person leaned against the wall. And then he realizes Riley's gone and he just kind of goes dejected back into the back room.
Oh, oh no.
Take the jacket off immediately.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Oh. I'm gonna go beat up my ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Did we want to close the scene there?
I think that's a good place to close the scene. I do love the little epilogue with Chris, though. Sorry, Clark.
Yeah.
So let's shuffle these. Puckett, do you want to draw us a card?
I mean, you remember what happened last time I did this.
Yeah.
Hanged Man.
Oh, she's back. They're back.
And
We're back.
oh dear, what is that? 10 of Cups?
10 of Cups. Did I shuffle that?
Well, it wasn't the 10 of Cups, was it?
It wasn't the 10 of Cups, but I don't know if I hit shuffle on the other one.
Well, if you hadn't hit shuffle, it would have been the same card, wouldn't it?
No, because I have to do it separately on both stacks.
Yeah, the piles.
Well,
Do we want to do another scene with Riley, or do we want to?
I think it'd be funny if Riley came right back through the door as Clark was getting all dejected and said, "By the way, I forgot," and needed something else.
That is very Riley, and I love it.
Yeah.
But
Cups.
what's the 10 of Cups?
The 10 of Cups is a moderate to severe problem with either the staff or their job.
Well, the staff, it can also be a problem with the Queen of Cups, it says.
That's true.
Like the actual person, the queen, not the establishment.
Okay,
Although,
I have a thought here. So it's very vague on defining problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if, and I'm just tossing this out there, what if the problem is that Riley was kind of hoping to see Clark and was inventing a pretext to come back in just on that off chance that maybe he would have arrived in the last 3 minutes? Because we are talking about someone who is a little scattered, a little flighty. Like, oh, it's been 3 minutes. Maybe he's here. But
Fair.
neither of them know this. So, of course, it's very awkward teen flirtatiousness type, shuffling their feet, staring at the ground. Like, I don't know how to say, I like you stuff.
I love it.
Because that's technically a problem with the staff, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah, Riley immediately flies back in. Oh, I forgot. She's like, they're like feeling up their chest and opening their jacket, looking in all the pockets. Oh, hi, Clark.
And I because I'm like quickly pinning the buttons back into my shirt, and I accidentally stab myself, and I just kind of have like one button dangling off my shirt. Oh, hi, Riley.
And Riley pulls out a stack of leaflets that are the size of business cards, and starts like going around and handing them to people. Like, I was supposed to advertise it. And she gets to Clark and like really awkwardly like
Oh, thanks. What's it for? As I
Just like
yeah.
trying to unfold this little
Yeah.
3-panel leaflet.
Yes.
I have found that possums are being kept in cages.
Oh no! Where?
For some reason, the humans think that they're pests, and every time they see a possum, they catch them and put them in cages and torture them. And it's a travesty. And we need to save the possums. So we're going to set up a march. It's going to happen 21 hours
5
from
minutes
now.
ago.
It's going to happen tomorrow. And we're going to march down to what they're calling animal control. And we're going to barge the doors in. We're going to let all the animals out. And we're going to rescue them.
Right, because I mean, totally, yeah. Why, who do you think they are controlling animals?
I know, right? They have their own will. They have their free will. They don't need to be controlled. What is going on with these people? I don't understand them.
Yeah, I mean, I had an uncle, not an uncle by marriage, but like a talking pig uncle. Well, I mean, an uncle by marriage is what I meant. An uncle by marriage, like a talking pig uncle, and he got rounded up by animal control once. It was terrible.
That is awful. I'm so sorry for you. Oh, sorry for him. But that is very unfortunate. And she looks and they see the buttons on your shirt. They're like, thanks, and just zips away.
I just kind of blush and then run back into the back room.
And Riley is continuing to hand out pamphlets. At this point, they are less like handing them to people. And yeah, there's lots of characters, lots of pronouns. They are just like kind of dropping them in front of people as she zips by. They zip by and constantly just like leaving little bits of paper everywhere as they're zipping around the room and fly out the door.
Okay.
Doris walks into the back room, looks at Clark, smiles just a tiny bit, says, "Here, have this," and hands you a freshly baked chocolate chip cookie right out of the oven.
Clark does not know what you mean, but he will not turn down a chocolate chip cookie.
Did you put some of that flour on it from earlier?
Ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies. I may be old, but I can still see things.
And we're reaching the 7:40 mark here. So do we want to do one more scene or do we want to go into like an actual queen scene?
I think that having a queen scene at the end is not a terrible idea.
I'd kind of like to see a scene with Allie, Riley, and Titania. Just because that's something that I'd kind of like at least a little bit of closure on, even if it's just an epilogue.
Yeah, we can do an epilogue with that.
Maybe even Clark gets dragged into it. I mean, Clark does have Excalibur.
What's the scene? I kind of like the scene of like Riley and Allie are on their way to beat up David, and Titania like happens to
Riley,
see them.
Hyacinth, Micklemore of the House of Titania, what do you think you are doing? Young one?
Child.
Young child?
We are not doing anything. We are not doing anything right now.
Because if you have spontaneously decided to go beat someone up, I have already grounded you once about this.
It's like your mom.
And
Oh my god, is she your mom?
no, not official. No, she's my great grandma. Something along those lines. I lose track. There's a lot of people in there. But yes, we were gonna. Well, I mean, he's a dick.
I can't deny that one.
He hurt Allie. He messed up my business. He made me sad. He made me not sleep all night, and I felt like garbage. You haven't actually told me, is he a person? I wanted to say he's a bad person, but I don't even know if he's a person.
He's like a demon from the second circle, but, you know.
And you're not letting me go beat up a demon. That would be so much fun.
I mean, look, Riley, it's time that you learn these things. That sometimes when you want to get revenge on a person, that's what social media is for.
I mean, it's not quite as visceral, but it is fun.
It's more long lasting.
Yeah, that's true. And she pulls out her foot. They just start immediately going after everything and is not paying attention to anything else that's going on in the rest of the scene.
Hello, Allie.
Thanks, Titania. This kind of got away from me a lot quicker than I thought it would.
That's
I
understandable.
didn't like him, but I didn't like him, but I also didn't want to go beat him up.
It's understandable. Riley, things tend to progress quickly with Riley, and I'm glad that they at least had you there at their back.
I wouldn't have let anything happen to them. You know that.
I smile of course. Did you did you like the cookies?
Those were from you?
Oh, well, yes.
They were really nice. I was pulling an all-nighter, and it really helped me get through some rough stuff.
Yes, well, I was wondering if we could perhaps go eat cookies together sometime. I mean, not just cookies, but perhaps an entire meal.
Are you asking me out in front of your like great grandkid?
Riley, would you like a new car? They are not paying attention.
Yeah, I guess we could do that. We could do a lot of things. Yeah.
Did you say my name?
You can go back to your social media, dear.
Click, click, click.
I would like that. And I kind of quickly lean in and give you a kiss on the cheek.
Bright red. Bright red.
Evan, I grab Riley and run off.
Yep,
It runs in the family.
that's it.
Yes. All right. That was great. And so I think we're going to So I think we're going to go back in time a little bit and do the Queen of Cups scene, which is the like kind of everything's closed down and the Queen comes down after our shift to kind of check in on everybody and make sure everything's going well. So when you draw the Queen of Cups, or at the end of the session, discuss amongst yourselves how the shop is doing. Do you feel like you're helping customers, supporting each other? The Queen likes to ask questions such as the following, though these are merely suggestions. Use them as is or treat them as a basis for devising your own questions. And so I think, do we want to do like each one of us asks one other person one of these questions?
Yeah, sure.
Works for me.
And then feel free to make up your own questions. And the three that are listed are just kind of examples if you want to use your own. But I will use one of the example ones, and I will ask. The Queen will ask Doris, what can she do to support you?
Well, Miss T came in today and she had a rather particular request. And unfortunately, I only had dried, what was it? Love and Idleness? I think it was the name of the flour that she wanted her cookies baked with. And it would be nice if we could get some, at least a line on where we could get fresh ingredients delivered in the event that a customer of her regularity makes a special request of us. Because I don't think it necessarily makes sense to have it on hand fresh all the time. But I do so like to make people happy. And I love being able to bake things that make people's lives better or happier, even if it's just for a moment.
And yes, Doris, I believe that I know where I might find some. But you know that is quite an ask. Did she tell you why?
I smile a little bit. Oh, she might have hinted at something. I was busy baking, so, and you know me, Queen. In one ear, out the other. I mean, basically all I remember these days are my recipes. And there's like this little twinkle in my eye. And I'm sure the Queen knows that I'm lying through my teeth.
Yeah, and I think she gives you like a little knowing smile, because she knows you're not gonna you have people's best interest at heart.
Doris isn't a narc.
Listen, Doris inadvertently made weed cookies in Brindlewood Bay and did not snitch. So
that must have been a fun session.
it was even more fun when the skaters that she was making brownies for found out that there wasn't anything special in them. The placebo effect was quite real.
Ah.
That's great. Steven, do you want to ask somebody a question?
Yeah. I think she'll probably ask something. I'm kind of inspired by this question, but I think that she's not going to be that so insensitive as just to say that. I mean, Craig, how do you? Are you doing all right? How do you feel how do you feel you've been coming along here? I know that you have some problems you're dealing with. I'm hoping that working here is helping you work through some of those.
Problems? I mean, yeah. I had problems. I don't know. That's a lot to ask. But I will say that I got to any kind of glances over at Allie. It's like, it felt good protecting people again. I don't know what that means, but it helped a little bit.
Remember, Craig, if there's ever anything you need, you can always come talk to me about it, right?
Oh, of course.
Oh, and my yoga instructor, Mercedes, says hello.
You can tell her hello, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I just kind of give you a knowing look.
awesome. Okay.
Well, first of all, is there a list of these questions that I'm just not seeing some of those?
They are pages 10 and 11. The 3 questions in the book are: how do you, name an employee, feel you're coming along in being a kinder, more loving person? Who was the hardest customer to handle today? And what can I do to support you? But feel free
See, this
to
is the
make up your
problem.
own.
I don't have a link to the drive. Okay, so
It's available for. I think he linked to the itch where you can just download it for free.
okay. I'll ask a slightly different question.
Okay.
And I think for this one, she kind of wants to pull Clark off to the side a little bit and say, you're the youngest of us here, Clark. And I know things can get a little bit strange, but it seems like you're fitting in very well and even growing to appreciate some of our customers.
Yeah, they're very, a lot of the customers that come through here are really, really great people.
Yes, they are. And it seems as though you're becoming more familiar with certain customers.
Oh, Miss Mercedes, yeah, I helped her with her dog, right?
And she just smiles. Clark, life is short. And you have a good enough heart that Our Lady of the Drainage Ditch gave you a sword. If you are that brave and that courageous that you can be recognized that way at your age, I'm reasonably sure you can be brave and courageous enough to ask out a certain pixie.
I kind of give a little cough and just go, yes, ma'am.
Is there anything that I can do to help you with that or support you in that?
I think. Oh, I mean, I kind of, I want to give an answer here, but I kind of feel like, uh, I kind of feel like that's, it would be, it's a little bit, it would be a little bit awkward, to get my boss's help asking someone out.
That's fair. But I wasn't limiting it to merely asking them out. You know, if you needed to borrow a car, or if you wanted a reservation at a restaurant or something like that. I do have some sweat.
Oh, right. Do you think maybe you can help us? It was kind of a thing. We were going to break into this animal control place. Do you think you could help with that?
Her head drops and she sighs and puts a hand on the counter to steady herself and say, Clark, everyone gets one. You're young, so you get two. For future reference, please don't tell your employer when you are considering engaging in illegal activity.
Right. Good call.
And she sighs.
Allie leans over from the table. Is like, Craig's not fired. He's not fired, is he?
No, he's not fired. It's nothing like that. Just in such matters, discretion is paramount, Craig. Do you understand?
Right.
Discretion.
Right. Discretion.
And she turns away from the counter that she was leaning on and takes her hand away. And you see some small, fine metal tools that were not there before she put her hand down. And they look suspiciously like lockpicks.
Yeah, he'll take them. He doesn't know how to use them, but I'll take them. Oh, you know what? I think we, the three of us, asked each other in a circle. So if any of us want to go again to.
So, Sarabelle, are you more interested in asking someone else a question or getting asked a question?
I think I'm more interested in being asked a question.
Okay.
Because I had a question for Clark, and I feel like I would be treading over similar territory.
Okay. I think, Stephen, you look like you're impatient.
Oh, no. I don't have a question. Sorry.
Okay.
This is just my face.
That's okay.
That's what his face does.
I got a couple of questions, but I also don't necessarily want to jump in and ask again if somebody else has different
No, I'm
ideas.
pretty good for now.
Go for it.
So, Allie, I understand there was, well, as Craig mentioned, feeling good about protecting people again. I understand there was something of an issue earlier.
It wasn't an issue. Craig took care of it. It's fine. I'm fine.
Well, it's not an issue that you will have to worry about here again. And you see her move her fingers just slightly, and the door shimmers. That individual is no longer welcome in this establishment. It would be unwise of them to try to cross that threshold.
Okay, I thought you killed him.
No. Goodness, Allie. If I had killed him, he would be facing me and he would have been armed. No, he's just been permanently banned. And he's also been notified on it. I may have also notified him through the gaming service he is currently using and banned him from the service for 48 hours because of his cheating. But he's been notified.
Okay.
And I understand that you also are growing closer to the customers.
Yeah. That's a way of putting it. That's okay, right? Like,
Allie, my people tend to live a while. And we see a lot of things. It is absolutely okay. Just if the person is who I'm thinking of, just beware that significant age gaps can cause issues with understanding and communication. And be patient with that. It'll work itself out. Also, she likes raspberry madeleines if you want to surprise her.
frantically looks over at Doris.
Doris is just grinning. Like not beaming like, oh yeah, you get to bake more, but just grinning like, I got you. I know.
So I might have to drop a shift on Saturday. That's okay.
Why would you need to drop it?
I was scheduled and I think I'm busy that night.
Well, I'm sure Doris can cover for you. Or I'm Clark, perhaps, if he's not doing anything illegal that he has been cautioned not to do. And she winks at you. Or Craig. Will you and your siblings be helping Jimmy with the hobbits, the hobbitats?
Maybe. Depends on if he's willing to ask for help.
Then I'm sure Doris can handle it. Don't worry about it, Allie. Just take the time. You're only young once. Well, you are only young once. I've been young enough times to remember how unpleasant it is. It's always so awkward. It's always trying to figure out how to tell someone that you like them, that you're enamored of them, that you're smitten. The older you get, the easier it gets to say, life is short. I like you. Let's go to the park and look at the stars. But you'll all get there. Even you, Craig. And seriously, Craig, go do yoga with Mercedes, young man?
One session, and I'm not wearing the stupid pants.
Oh, Mercedes doesn't expect you to wear pants.
Yeah. Like, we were all there.
What
I
do you
saw the
guys
security footage, Craig. I must concur with your coworkers. I believe this might be, if you'll excuse me being so direct, a pants optional yoga session.
What? I don't.
I really never thought I'd have to explain it to you.
Oh.
Yes.
I
he just
see.
goes-
It's
he
his
just
now
goes-
you're
naked
understanding.
yoga.
He goes beet red.
Braid your beard first, Craig.
I need to use the restroom. I'll give me a minute. And just leaves.
Does anyone else have any issues? Anything else about the day they'd like to discuss?
No,
All right.
Good.
I think that is an
Well-
excellent place to wrap up.
Everybody take the baked goods. You know, we make them fresh every day. So if there's anything you want to snack on, otherwise we'll just give it to the squirrels outside in the park. And you know how they get when they get sugar and raspberry jam.
Well, thank you all for playing. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. Thank you, anyone who watches this. You can find out more about Gauntlet and Gauntlet Hangouts at gauntlet-rpg.com. Maybe you can come and play games like this with us. And until then, I'll see you around.
Bye.